Today, Sony just quietly announced the A9 1.5. What? It's the A9. Okay, A9II. They just announced the A9II today. And today we're going to talk about it. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? My name is Ty Turner, and if this is your first time on my channel, this channel was designed for content creators like yourself who want to turn their passion into profit. I like to call them contentpreneurs, but let's get into it today. Listen, this morning I got an email from Sony. Didn't have no pictures, didn't have nothing. It says, hey, we're announcing the new A9 Mark II, and here's the features, and that was that. Now, it's kind of rare for Sony because they usually go big with these cameras. They usually go really big with their alpha lineup, especially when they make a lot of changes. You know, the A7R Mark IV came out of nowhere and we didn't expect it, and it punched us in the mouth with a lot of great features. However, the A9 Mark II is quiet. Why? I know a lot of professionals in the industry that are in sports that, they rant and rave about the A9. Everybody that's a Sony lover wants to get their hand on the A9. And at first I was like, these changes aren't really that great. I see why they were quiet about it. This was the most Canon-ish update they've done almost ever since maybe what came after the 6500, the 67, what came on 6400? Like, Sony's starting to scare me a little bit on being sluggish with disrupting the industry like they did for the past 2 or 3 years. I'm a little worried. Not gonna worry too much, but I'm just a little worried. So we're gonna go over just the specs of this camera. We're not gonna spend a lot of time because a lot hasn't changed, but we're gonna talk about what they said has changed. But we're gonna do that right after this. You asked and we delivered 18 sales contracts designed by content creators for content creators. I'm not talking about those one-size-fits-all contracts you find online. These contracts were specifically designed for your industry. Each contract has multiple clauses designed to protect your brand. Things like making sure the client understands that you have the ability to sell unused footage or images to stock sites. We're also releasing our 7 brochure-style proposal template pack for anyone that wants to improve sales by providing a professional proposal to clients, as well as our proven 5-part lead generation email sequence designed to go in code and produce leads that you can turn into new clients. We also included our objection template to help you overcome the most common objections. We offer this as a complete package or individual in an effort to help you turn your passion into profit. Visit flashfilmacademy.com. Just a heads up, we're giving 25% off that package you just seen. Only for the YouTube audience. Your promo code is YTFAM. All one word, YTFAM. Anyway, let's address the elephant in the room. The great thing about this camera is if you need a majority of these features, the price for the original A9 just dropped and became a whole lot more affordable. Because if you don't need the features that we're going to go over, it's really almost pointless to pick up the new version. So let's jump straight to the elephant in the room and let's just get a few things out of the way. The image quality has not improved. Dynamic range has not improved. None of that stuff has improved. You're gonna get the same image quality. It is a faster camera as far as shutter speed. However, there is a asterisk to that. And that asterisk is it now offers 10 frames per second in mechanical shutter speed. Now you're still getting your 20, 21 frames, 0 blackout frames. You're still getting that. There isn't a change with that. However, if you use a lot of flash, a lot of strobes, and you need a mechanical shutter, it's a little bit faster, and that may come in handy depending on what type of sports you're in. Remember, this camera is for die-hard sports photographers. There's no other reason to spend $4,500 for this particular camera unless you are making that money back by doing sports photography. I tell people all the time, the A7 III is really all you need. This is for sports photographers. And I have a friend of mine who is a sports photographer. He's actually working with MLB right now. He's worked with a lot of teams from the Redskins. I will actually post a link to his page. Good friend of mine from the military days when I was a combat photographer. He has a channel that talks about a lot of sports photography. So I'll make sure I'll link him in the description. A lot of the updates and upgrades are things that he has mentioned would be nice to have on this particular model, comparing it to a 1DX or your higher end Nikons. And there's just some things that if you're in that world, these features mean a lot to you. To the average person, they don't. I can't tell you how many people I know own a 1DX and they use it for freaking vlogging. And that's just not what it was made for. It's great for it, but it's not what it was made for. For the people who use these cameras for sports and high speed photography, these updates mean a lot. For the average guy like me and you may see some videos where people are unhappy with this iteration of updates. I have no issue with them. So of course you have a redesigned body, which is really similar to the A7 IV. You're getting more knobs and more physical buttons, and that's good for sports photographers. Average guy don't care. Sports photographers care because they don't want to have to dive through menus to change something when you're shooting sports. Things change quick and you need to be able to flick a switch and go from, different focusing modes. I know from shooting NFL games myself, things change when you go from a field goal play to a fake. You may want to, switch it up really quickly to capture the shots that you need, or when the team is closer to you compared to when they're further away from you. And, with football, one run can change that quickly. You don't want to have to go through your menu settings if you're following a team that's going no huddle. You want to look down and say, flick, flick, I'm ready, let's go. And that's important to sports photographers. One thing that a lot of the old guys who kind of don't even look at Sony yet for professional photography in that space complain about, well, I got this Canon and I've been in the rain with this Canon and this Nikon has been, it's all kind of dust and all this stuff. And, I just don't know how resistant the Sonys are, to dust and moisture. Sony has done a lot to improve their dust and moisture protection on this particular body. Now, don't get me wrong. I've shot NFL games, with the A6500, an A7R Mark III, and an A9. I took them all out there to do a comparison, which I'll link in this video here. I don't see a problem, but again, I'm not somewhere in the rain capturing NFL games every week. So those who are may see this as a huge upgrade. I totally understand if that's the case. I mean, I've shot in NASCAR with an A6500, and anyone can tell you it is one of the most dustiest places ever, especially if you're down by the gate and you got dust blowing up in your face and cars blowing by. You would think an A6500 would suffer some type of damage, but mine actually didn't. It kicked butt. You're also getting the improved autofocus from the A7R Mark IV, which is huge. It has, just a better eye locking technology, better face locking technology. It'll allow things to come in and out of the screen and it will still lock on. It's dual pixel autofocus, but better in my opinion, because it locks onto things, like an eye or like a face, which dual pixel autofocus locks on faces. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it doesn't give you the precise eye autofocus. The eye autofocus was a game changer to me because it was just better than locking onto a face. I mean, you can lock onto a face and still not be in focus. You want to snap onto that eye. And I love it with the Sonys. It is a deciding factor for me when I'm looking for a photography camera. A lot of changes with this particular camera stems around better connectivity, better speed, getting your files off of the camera, which is a huge thing for sports and action photographers. Often they photograph something and they need to kick files off immediately. Anybody who's done sideline photography for a sports team know that you have to get images off that card immediately and get them to an editor so that they can put them on social media. It's not like yesteryear where you can develop a picture and as long as it's in a paper tomorrow, you're fine. These companies like MLB, NFL, they want images almost instantly. They need to go from camera to website in 1 quarter. If you take something in the first half, it needs to be on the website by halftime, and that is very important. And this camera is tailored around speed, tailored around offering different Wi-Fi technology to help you get these files off the camera fast. Faster USB connections, faster Ethernet connections, so that you can tether it and get images quickly. Those are things that the average guy don't care about. But if you're in that world of sports photography or fast action, fashion photography, or anything with action, you care about the speed of that tethered device. And this is something that they address. Speaking to professionals, there's a lot of people that's crying about they don't like what this camera offers, who has no intentions on buying it. But professionals who work in this area care about these particular features, especially if you're doing any remote style photography. Think about the NBA. When you go see the backboard, there's 20 cameras back there and somebody's triggering those cameras with a cable, with Wi-Fi, with something. Those are situations where a camera like the A9 Mark II will be used, and those people will appreciate these features. One really cool feature that I seen on one of the videos is a voice memo that you can record per picture. So you can kind of take notes and kind of caption it. Anyone who's done sports photography or action photography or a photographer in the military, such as myself, understand the importance of captions. And there's nothing greater than to have the ability to take a picture, record a voice memo and say, hey, that's such and such, such and such, and such and such. And you can go back and write that caption later. This is something that you have to be in the industry to fully understand and appreciate. A great example of this is if you're taking a lot of pictures of a football game. The first quarter looked like the fourth quarter if you're looking at pictures. But if you can leave a voice memo and say, hey, this is the play where he threw the touchdown pass, or this is the play where he got hurt, or this is the play when whatever, and you can come back and pull that picture and know exactly what's going on and have your captions ready to be jotted down. It will save you a lot. So again, that's a feature that regular photographers are scratching their head. This is dumb. Why would you want that? And professionals are like, wow. Why didn't they think of this a long time ago? You'll often see a lot of photographers take notes on the side if they're dealing with an event, or they're dealing with a sport where there's a lot of people. Sports are easy because you got numbers. You can say number 15, kick the ball. But when you're dealing with, let's say, event photography, and you're dealing with senators, you're dealing with VPs, and you want to write a caption for a news station or to go online, it's great to just hit a button and you can say, hey, it was, Senator such and such shaking hands with Congresswoman such and such. And you can just leave that there and go back to view it whenever. So those are some just really light need to know features that the A9II have. And, this may be a big deal for you. If you're in the industry, you care about these updates. These are huge updates for you if you're in the industry. If not, you probably don't care. You probably think that this is a really sluggish, slow update. Would I have liked to get my socks completely blown off with a crazy new sensor and low light capabilities better than the human eye and all kind of crazy stuff that Sony has been, spoiling us with? Yes. However, this is an update that's needed for professionals, and Sony is trying to be taken serious by professionals. That's why they need this. If you're an A9 user or a professional sports or action photographer, what do you think? Do you think these are enough updates to be called an A9 Mark II? or should we stick with the A9 1.5? Are you happy with these updates? Are they enough for you? That's what I want to know. Not you guys that are using A7, A7Rs, not you guys that never even thought about buying a camera, but those who have a job that rely on them capturing a lot of action photography. Are these updates relevant to you? Post them in the comments below and let's talk. And I will see you guys in the next video.